Kublai pi baro pia pe RiKhasi channel be yuan rasha pia ka thup khubor jongani ka tiyo menta ki phangi bakong san menjur ka HPC ban kendria na them yo molong ringkat bat katto ka ni ki kendon ka sarkar kamdei ban sngap ya ki kendon ke HPC ong ka KSU Aji Krishan ka boundary committee ya ki hima bat ki trai jaka ha khapot Persyang ka sarkar ban weng ya ka japo na jowai kintu ba rembui ya ki nong shong shnong ban kit klelem Rai ka kanhun ki nohi kai ban pinjin sur shipor ya ki jingki daga jingya rally ki thuk thuk rakhe ya ka north east fest hari bhoi district haga sport raga shillong labet ya ka nam ladu haga Bircham Cup basketball championship bat kibai di ki khubor ngine paimentaj ki khubor banya Menhaka arpo santri ubnai balala kata ubnaya yong mentakas nam arhajar arpo ka sarkar MDA kelade ban shong biang ya ka jingelang bat ka harijan panchayat committee HPC hak bagani ka committee kala menjur ban kendria na them yo molong ringkat bat ka tu kan ki kendon
Hadin blawai ka jelang oba president tensong menjurang ba bandrap ka sarkar jala ulai thu ba ka HPC kala menjur ban penkendria ai kibriu na them yo molong la ni na harijan colony ringkat bat ka tu kan ki kendon
had a meeting with the HPC relating to the subject of relocation. In fact, again, they have submitted a proposal to us. Of course, they agreed for relocation, but certain conditions they have submitted to us where we discussed today. And again, ultimately what we were decided today from the government side, we will prepare a blueprint, detailed proposal from the government side. And then once that is done, we will communicate officially to them. And once that is done, they will sit down again with their residents over there and take a final decision.
When will be the next meeting then?
Next meeting, I think maybe by before 10 or 15 of next month. Hopefully we'll be able to prepare all the detailed proposal to be submitted to them. And once that is done, then meeting will be held again.
So what are these certain conditions that?
No, the condition is like this. In fact, what they wanted is, number one, they wanted, if possible, they wanted separate location altogether for all the 342 household who already inventorized way back in 2008. That is number one. Then number two, in fact, the question of whether once the unit is constructed, whether they will be able to own that unit generation to generation. These are the issues where they wanted to get the detail, as I said to you, from the government side. So as I said to you, now we have already instructed Urban Affairs Department to do all the details, proposal, and then we will submit it back to them. And once that is done, then meeting will be held and we'll take a final call.
Secretary ka Harijan Panchayat Committee Gurjit Singh ulai thu bagi kendon ki bagi buah ka sarkar kilong ba ka sarkar kariban pinbiang aspa square meter kawai ka longying bar kumjuru bantib ya ka pilot bicep na ka bantawan shna ya ki yeng jongki
कि जो मतलब हमारा जो प्रपोजल है ना, जो हमारा रेजुलेशन वहाँ पे मीटिंग कमेटी में जो लोग एग्री हुए हैं कि मतलब जितने लोग हैं सबको गवर्नमेंट लैंड दे, ये जो मल्टी स्टोरी बिल्डिंग नहीं लैंड बना के देना, जैसा मतलब लैंड दे और घर बनाने के लिए उसका जो कॉस्ट है वो दे। तो हम मतलब अभी गवर्नमेंट ने बोला है कि वो डिसाइड करेंगे, तो फिर दोबारा जो मीटिंग होगा उसमें बताएंगे।
आपको घर नहीं चाहिए, आपको घर नहीं चाहिए, सरकार के तरफ से घर नहीं,
जो मल्टी स्टोरी जो फ्लैट बना बोल रहे हैं ना, वो नहीं। हमने कहा है कि हमारा जितना फैमिलीज है वो सब फैमिली को 200 स्क्वायर मीटर पर फैमिली वो जो लैंड देने के लिए विद इन यूरोपियन वर्ल्ड।
कहाँ पर ये जगह?
ये जगह तो गवर्नमेंट डिसाइड करेगा ना।
घर बनाएगा कौन?
तो जो घर बनाने के लिए हमने बोला है कि घर बनाने के लिए जो मतलब कॉस्ट है वो दिया जाए हम लोग को।
अपना से घर बनाएंगे?
हाँ, अपना से घर बनाएंगे, क्योंकि ये जो पहले जो म्यूनिसिपल ने क्वार्टर्स बना के दिए हैं जहाँ पे भी, वो सब तो डैमेज हो गया। अभी 20 साल भी नहीं हुआ, सब घर टूट गया है। तो जो बिल्डर आते हैं वो मतलब घर बना देते हैं और वो लास्टिंग नहीं होता है.
UMLE ka North Shillong constituency ba Adelbert Nongrom ulapan pau ya ka jing bitar ka bajur ya ka jingkran bahe jong ki kharmetor ki bat sa hathem yo molong ki bala dawana ka sarkar ba ka dei ban mang mar r square meter bad rukum jo ya ka tingka ka ba ar pholak na ka benta ka wei ka long yeng
habikana bakla patai khubor mata ka si ka ar mutorik u yong ar jara ar pu ar UMLE jong ka North Shillong hakaba ka ni ka jaka sa ki kharmetor ka ha ka constituency jo u ulang bakini ki kharmetor kemdon hok satya mandawa nakar sarkar ya ka jaka ka bakat ne bakum juru ki badawa lot ya jen kam chongki
bakani ka kentin relocation ban penkria ya kini ki parlok ki nanti jaka wat ada kedai ka area ka ba ha po konsumsi joan dengan compromise mengau ndu ki por election badak ki por election barang wan ru marke ka ba ngidong kam kum ki nom ikmat ka long ban wan ra ya ta ka jing suk ki song sain bat ki we ki barjala kibaran hani ri jumi kimdei banle try kle bat na smo ban program government of the day kamdei bakan chupan soba yanu na ka banta ka jing ko burong jong ka malade na ka banta ka jing pun kre next election bat kani ka decision ka basim ha ka ban pun kre ya kini ki harajan te jaka ka basulingo kalong ba kata ka kentin relocation kaban relocate de ban relocate ko mga karen ba siya ko baslang mali ban relocate de man pankarya tang ya ki government employees namar kini ki de ki bawan lamba la instruct ki la authorize ki lamba ki department repair ki por ki brale nadu ki bonus nam brale te habala bu ya ki hamtai lamba ki department la pha ya ki udong kam relocate shi respective government quarters ki bolong ki department concern ke jongki kata kadi ka wei ka clear ka wanang community wala kadi ka government ka ba la sideline yang ai bon ki banta jongki issue khamtam ki badai bar kani ka constituency ki jonga ka ba solingo kalau don't you challenge that there must be something hidden agenda ka ba du ko basang ki khlam trip nanya banong kumu dokhot jong ni ka HLC ka bala yalam dai deputy chief minister tiba na sulingo kani ki ka ba penhun da kata condition kata kendon ka bakibu kini harjan banong ba babaro ki laispa sau fuar settlers ki basong basa ante ki di banyo da ka wei par ka jaka ka bagi demand manta ban bu khmat ka government ka ba khawpot ka government ka ba jem soft government bagi ong ba ban bu iki po European world larangi phai tang ya ka jaka kani po non kani ka non kani ka non European Kabarika schedule area. Nanti pai tang kedor kerit jongkar ulai hajar, kalau belum ulai hajar square feet. Mereka tadi aku masuk kalau pun riujar. Naik ke government kan yuk terpisah. Tiba ke sulingo, apering ke jela ke hiran. Wadiki SSE, teachers wadu mentakim palak ban clear ke dues ke jongki. Ki aida udah kumdi, ki aida udah kumtai. Kani ke game play. Jongka government nak bentak next election. Bar kani ke wak man pengkemau pi. Kini lais pak sau puar settlers kini ban pensyai cepat ba kan ngur ki benda na pare gini ki benda kita ki present government employee ki bon lemba ki way pak department nomor kini ada ban pak bich shaki respective government quarters mendai ban penhun pak ki way pak jakar mo inum la ban bargain inum la ban compromise yo inum ai la ban bargain inum ai la su ban banginang compromise ko mujak ban riu lagi pas border na sha compromise sha encourage mentak la diri po hajar square feet ka bangam tip kani ka government of the day leading by the NPP kani ban sim ka blame ba kani ka lapan pau bakum lakum ba kani ka NPP property te kan no kajing loss ka jongi kan no kajing dodong kajing kum jak riu rangi phai ki political party ki bala set up ki office ki jongi ki revenue land thamle jer karteng rangi phai ki forces ki bala capture po ka hani ka Shillong agglomeration kan no kajing do no timar kadau ngadiman kum lokal lemali bamli banyak chakmat bamli ban pengkret ka blueprint barkani ka jak penriu ka ban yang teli ha komunika por ha ka bangno mailat ini government ka present government ka bala support dek babon ba ki party bakir ini ban sim ka blame ban ngasngu ba ya kani di ban scrap bamli ban entertain kim don hok bakin bu jing dawa
Ola pen inuksa baki nong dijan ke baju song apa jiking wa pran ya kabara pen prano kiyo hai jakai barit bali baki ni kan meter ki dawa banyo ke jakai bahe adu kan ni yang ini ulah pempau bagi dikerjeng jauh sarkar baru ulah orang bagi sarkar kadewan sim dikilat kibateng badaban bebe ya kitu kinong song hak ketiga jaka kibuan song bean
di company ka issue kabangin buat mana kerja Jepang ni kerja bargain kerja ki ba arspa square meter bakin yo ya kawai ka family approximately kan poi arjar sispa sanpo square feet kiran hok iu bakin demand maki kat notam na sibuk mata ki ong baki deki food grade employees ke banjai ki pan ki grade 4 employees jong ki wei pan ki department ki prado ki prasam tu bude ki haban pensana ya ki yang hisap kani government haban sim yang jigit clear ya kini ki bapa dismantle ya ketika overbridge ko moran ru lai jaka hi barit la sukham nga lomba kitu ki nongsong kinong dukan tu po khasi market kitu dah di pan ai separate plot of land kani ka ba ngako bu kum lokal mali ba kadang ki sendet ke bakim kwa ru yang aban bu banin clip beringan haban ban khro beringan haban terwai ladi kamera mjoki baru kasi baslan ngapo meeting ke bala khadu chief minister malom ba am here hata ke meeting ke bala por berang ya hurura po ani ka konsorsi jing arja khapra malom ba am here representing the voice of people. The people doesn't want any assurances, doesn't want any suggestion. What they want is a decision. Jadi terkadang kami include nga hapo ke committee. Jadi kalau tanong rem ke ba ngaru nga kentu yang kipai ba jog jala. Ngini yang teling na pedek kadau pedek kariu ngin pedi kita ya kata kejemlong. Try muluk namang nasa nyon nasa suppress brokilian.
Melaka arpu nyutri pada ubnai belala ka Khasi Students Union kalapan pau baka sarkar MDA kamdei satya ban sngap ya kijing dawa jong ka Harijan Panchayat Committee.
Kini ki kendon belabu ada ke committee ki long ka beningkong baka sarkar ka dewan ashipo ikar ka jaka hapo ke European Ward na kabenta ki longging ki ban chapan kendria na Harijan Colony barka baar ke long baka sarkar ka dewan tip ika bailut bicep na kabenta ban snai ki ying na kabenta laispa sapu artali ki longging. Habai krim klap thai Khubor president ka KSU ba lambok star marngar ulong ba ka sarkar ka deban weng mardor ya baro ki basabi anya themyo molong la ne hapo Harijan Colony badya ki batare hapo ka sarkar ka deban pinkadria ya ki shaki kwatar.
From one hand they agree to go whatever the government have decided to relocate them, and from the left hand they have already made it very clear and strong condition that the government should provide lands and build them the house for all the family. So the stand of the union is very clear. Just people who have resided in the motor belong from any department, both the state and central government. It is the duty bound of the state government and this both various departments to take care of all this. Just people. So the KSU is make very clear to the government, don't entertain them, go accordingly to the wills and the demands of people, because this is a long pending demands, and we expect that the government should fulfill this long pending issue as soon as possible. With regard to this illegal settler, I think there's no need to talk with them. It's the duty of the government how to deal with this illegal settler. When we talk about this, there's people who have worked with the state government. I think it is the duty of the government and the people who have worked with the government to obey the rules that the government have already directed. So we expect that the government should make it very clear and don't try to hide here and there with regard to this issue. But we expect that the government should come up with a clear picture.
If they are government servants, if they are settling there on behalf of the government, then why they are not ready to be relocated into different quarters provided by the government? Why are they demanding 10 acres plot of land and 2,000 square feet per family? Now suppose if government staffs, government servants working in secretariat, they can also come out and protest in the street, give us 2,000 square feet, give us a huge plot of land. They can also do that. Don't you think that is their demand is unjustified? It is unacceptable. If they are illegal settlers, then the government should evict them.
But don't you think that the government should come clear? How many are the government servants and how many are the illegal settlers in that land?
They should do that, and it's up to the government. It's up to the government. But the reason that we call all of you here is that the government should not cede to the demand of the Kharmator, of the Harijan Panchayat Committee. The KSU will not accept that, and the KSU speaks on behalf of the entire Khasi community.
Does KSU feel that the community here, the HPC, feel that the issue is in their favor, hence they're making such kind of conditions to their government after seeing High Court's intervention also, so they feel like the case is on their side, hence they're putting such conditions? How does KSU feel?
You see, we cannot read their minds, what they are thinking. They might be delaying, or they might be indulging in other, what we cannot understand, we can't explain. But our voice is clear, and we want to reiterate that their demands should not be accepted, and it has been taken too much time. So government servants should be relocated and illegal settlers should be evicted.
Do you see any seriousness in the part of government to resolve this issue once and all? Because they had been delaying this matter for quite so long. Because they had formed a high-level committee quite a long time after those.
This issue is a ticking time bomb. It had happened before and it will happen again.
But do you see any serious? I mean, we see whether you see that this is NPP-led MDA government is serious to resolve this issue.
Let's see what the government will decide, and then we will also put our action into plan depending on what the government decide.
Kasang Hinyotrap National Youth Front menhaga arf kandai tarik pat kalapan pau hakilat pathai Khubor ba lada ka sarkar MDA ka menjur ya ki jingdawa jong ki kharmator nakaliang jong kaseng kan hiar bet chatham mato ban pen pau ya jing persha
Shushu kinangilam kanika sengilong baka sarkar kambet dalilai ru ban aja karani ban penshna yeng yaki harjan balada ka sarkar kamla ban le ei ki menteri ki de ban hiar shukino lemkum ta ka senghi dalade kan le ek badan kam wat ban hiar shaka thamyo molong ban yakun persha ki harjan
ki de ki ta ki harjan komiti ki ban direct maki sarkar ka sarkar ka de ban ka khamdan bor makine khamdan bor sarkar balai pak kabang pak makan syah ni anak kalian juga iseng balada sarkar dia cuma halor kini isu mana sekai ki irum masih tur bej pot hamito yang persiapan tak ada bunyi lah pengkre ni bej sarkar kena balai pak kalau balai gini adu kita lagi sepak tam kan bej tik tang municipal dan dua sepak kamu try kiwi depan mer nama mentim sarkar kada banyak dak service rule para ide government employees ki ban dan ki kota dan persa bat kimdan hok ni ban ong ba ki kan sa duah ni de ki tang ki government employees dalakut dalar tiar ki haban de sini sistem jong dan kali yang ni sen ni syak dalele ta datang pada sarkar kam koi bat bali bak sarkar bat ka muslim ki Kajing Muslim jom sarkar kajing pendile jom sarkar iki ente kana aina chu eki bakin na yo bor nang peni iki ki yujaki te na kaliang jing kaseng ni sha lele tar hardet adang ha poi ka chuma poi ru compare dara kita kisku bubur kita ni ni ki basha na pos lagi sha kandang sarkar sha pendek wat ki dukan PGM wat dan kam gini apa kana project bahe kawan disuruh perforlian kini kita ya sarkar kali umur jadi sini kejuburan sarkar ini tentang beda keboran apa di force apa di kulit tengi lama itu sebelum budak kiro dan kita lagi empat suatu kuat mana agak cekah sarkar kali umur kentang baik belai pat ini dan ayu mungkin ini sarkar itu support lada kimla man gue ini kita kan hari ini harus ki ya non harus ki dan don bagi kuat mungkin sekoi pat kalomba dari pene sarkar di taminit naik kami sikit
haga baidei bat ka jingken no bat ka jingken tho kaliang persha ba ka sarkar MDA ka balai lam da ka seng NPP ka long ka babam sam na kaliang ju president jong ka UDP ba met ba ling do ulo ong ba kablong ka badai satya ban shukun no yano kum to klam da don ka sakhi ka satar ka babyang
You can't just charge someone like that that you're corrupt. You please come up with evidence. Whoever has said like that, please come up with evidence. You can't just charge like that. Don't, make the identity of any person with that kind of allegations.
But he has said that
I can't just go with what you said.
Yeah. So, but he has said that
you please come up with evidence. What are the whatever charges that you have, that we'll look into it. You can't just talk like that. I never come out with any kind of statements alleging or accusing anyone without any kind of evidences, I should say.
The Saubhagya scheme and illegal coal mining, all these issues, you are silent. That is what they are saying.
Sir, Saubhagya scheme, I mean, that is a commission. We are waiting for the report of the judicial inquiry. So who am I to talk now?
And now they are planning
Let us wait for that.
Casino and
we will never sit idle when these kind of irregularities are happening in the state. We have seen it in the past also.
Don't you think that
you have seen when we talk about anything, we raise up and so you see, once somebody is alleging somebody about something, I mean, you can't just go by what they said.
Hadian kita Khubor nya sengai shotang shipor sawan pai biang sengai tang shibit update hadian nya sawan pai biang shipi ringkat kini kwi pat ki Khubor persang ka sarkar banweng ya ka japo na jowai kentu ba rembui ya kinong shong shnong ban kit klelem rai ka kenhun kinong hikai ban pinjin sur shipor ya ki jingki daga jingya rally ki thuk thuk rakhe ya ka north east fest hari bhoi district haga sport raga shillong labet ya ka nam ladu haga Bercham Cup basketball championship but kibai di Khubor. Bidaya isaban ni RiKhasi channel ni beteng biar mentai ki Khubor. Menteri rang ba ka jelau konrat ke sama ulapan pau ba ka jingkren jong presiden jong ka MPCC ba Vincent H Pala ba ka jingya penbet put ka day na ka benta ban yo ko hotel kalong ka jingkren ka babakla shibun bat kalong kum ka jingkren ukanarit.
Abakren krap tai Khubor ka armotrik uya yang arjar arpuar. Ukon ra ulong ba ompai perkhat ba ubriu bakat keren yang kat uba pala keren ya ki bukum kini ki kentin.
It is unfortunate that a person at that stature and at that level has such a micro, thought on such an important issue like the border issue. Secondly, since you asked me this question a second time now, all I can say is that it looks like he is more concerned about the 5-star than we, because they never crossed our mind. That area, in fact, to be very, very frank with all of you, was never a part of the dispute. It was clear cut in Meghalaya, so there was no question at all. So whether this particular discussion or a debate or not debate, I'm sorry, this particular talks, whether it went forward or not, the hotel was never a part of dispute. It was very clearly in Meghalaya, so there's no question. I didn't want to go into this kind of points simply because I feel it's not something that I think at a level like this, when we're talking of a boundary issue, such a personal issue should come up, and that's why I don't want to give more details. But my point is, it was never a part of dispute. So whether the talks went ahead or not, that area was always Meghalaya. So, I mean, I think the MP has got it wrong, and he has to do his homework again better. Yeah, I just leave it at that because I just feel really we have more important discussions to have.
Halo pensyai susu agak beli bagi jemput pur bagi asam konrad udah ong bagi di kejemput pur kadika balik bagi kalenti keberjerong bah kebalayat yang baru jengkat bagi regional committee kejengnya kendu ikisnong kita buat kemjuru kejemput baik bagi kipai bah agak juga por udah ong mana kalian kesakar jelah haswa bahkan sim yang negara kalian kendu ulu ikipai bah ikinong ilam sinong kini ilam hima buat kemjuru ikiseng halang bagi kiseng sang pertai agak jelah.
We have had consultations with almost all traditional heads, and we have had discussion even with the district councils. When this entire meeting and discussions were held at the regional committee levels, members of district councils were present. Even the traditional heads were present. So at every step along the way, they have been part of the discussions. Now, concerning the stand that they take, I have nothing to say in the stand that they have, because everybody has a right to take the stand. But we have tried to figure out a solution here, which we strongly felt cannot be done if we were to stick to the original process of going with only the documentation and historical facts and different maps that were there. I'm not saying they're not important. They are very important, because that's what history is, and that's what our forefathers have given us. So it is important. It's not that it's not important. But what we are trying to do here is trying to find a solution to a problem. And a complicated issue like this cannot be solved by us putting documents on the table or them putting documents on the table. We have been mentioning from day one that this is not a division between countries. This is simply a boundary or administrative control within a country of India. Therefore, yes, as a government and as an individual, we would want that all the entire map that we submitted should come to us. But we need to realize that, practically speaking, that will not be possible, because Assam will have more documents and maps than we do, because initially Meghalaya was drawn out of Assam. So my point here being is that everybody and the HIMAs and other organizations, they have a right to take their stand. If they wish to go to the judiciary, that is what the judiciary is for. But we are very clear that we have done what we had to do, keeping in mind the interests of the people and ensuring that the best solution could be reached. And we felt after all the exercise we did that we needed to look at the will of the people in that area. And based on the will of the people, we had to move forward and find a solution. So the principles were slightly, I should say, expanded. And once the principles were expanded and broadened, certain other principles came in, and that's when we took this decision. So therefore, if we were to stick to the original maps and documentation, I think we would never be able to resolve the problem, and we would still be having meetings and coming out with the conclusion of maintaining status quo. But that is not a solution. So therefore, we had to take a stand, we took a stand, and we went ahead, keeping in mind the larger interest and keeping in mind that at some point in time, we need to find a solution to this very, very vexed issue, which was causing a lot of inconvenience to the people, especially living in the border area.
Ki dukhat jong ka boundary committee ka KHADC ka bade ka committee ka bade pet na ka bentau put usam ka jala Meghalaya manakasi ba arjong ka tayo kala rai bakan ai jing ka shane ki hima ba ki trai jaka ki than khaput ha ka jing persha ka jong ki ya ka jing te kular balai soi hapreng ka jala Meghalaya ba ka jala Assam
ka boundary committee kala thaurui ka coordination committee ya ka baon lam khamado executive member bade pe ya ka tanat ilaka uba jambor baruba PNCM ringkat bat santali ki hima kibla shakhta na ka ni ka jia soi soskular uba PNCM ulai thu bakani ka coordination committee kan yakran sani bha halor ki benta ki beidei bakani ka jepen be upur usam bar kumjuru halor ki eki kindon ki banshim hashwa bandra ekani ka kam shakayeng kashri.
The boundary committee is just concluded, where we unanimously resolved that this boundary issue and the signing of MOU between the government of Meghalaya and Assam will be moved to court. And for this issue, the boundary committee has constituted a coordination committee to be headed by the EM in charge by Jambot, myself as the member of the coordination committee, along with the 5 HIMA, which are affected under this first phase of the MOU signed between the 2 states. We had entrusted to the coordination committee to discuss all the relevant issues and necessary steps to be taken up, at the same time to report to the boundary committee for a final approval before we move to the court.
Kajing bamdon ni kajaka ka babyang banbret ya ki jabo Hajante Hills District lawan ra ya kajing bar kalakta shika de ni kathan hakabai kinyut kinya la shuthe pathar ha surok bat ka long ke ke bandapet ka long ka bi side met bat ka bi sang sot ru ka jokapor Hakabai de bakani umantri ki kampoye jaka sarkar jalao bala kamen rumboy ulong bana kliang ka sarkar kala persangkat bala ban pinbet yakani ka kam hindre ha ka jo ka por ula kenturu iki pai ba jong ka than jwai bakin shimi ka jingket khli na ka banta ka khoi ka suba jong ka shrong ka thau.
This is a very sad thing that what happened in the state of Meghalaya, because it is not the question of blaming each other. We are part of the society. We have to blame each one of us, whether the government or the authorities or the people in general, because this issue is a real issue which have to be addressed not in a stopgap arrangement. We have to address at the core of it. The core of it is that, as if you remember, since 2019, I have already said that the next problem in our everyday life, especially in urban area, is water and garbage. So, how to address this issue? It is a very, very sensitive. Sensitive in the sense that the government have tried, because the landfill at Munkajai is not suitable at all. It affects the public. In fact, since when it was first trying to dump the garbage, the villagers themselves, they have already protest every now and then, and the time has come where they cannot bear anymore the thing. So, but the government at that time should take the initiative to see that this problem of the people have been solved. And after that, I'm very happy that the municipal authorities, the state government have tried to locate the land all over the state, in every district. But again, some people, rightly or wrongly, I'm not the one to judge, because I don't know which area it is, how far from the habitation, or from how far is from the river, whether that garbage sewage will go to the river or not, I don't know which area. But the time has come that we have to see that this problem today affects Jiwai, tomorrow it will affect some other part of the state. So this core problem have to be addressed, and together we should address it. As long as the land is away from the habitation, as long as the land is away from the river, as long as the government try to set up this plan to how to reuse, regenerate, to reuse for all this garbage, we should see that let the government do its duty so that this generation and the next generation also will benefit.
Kami ketrok kit do bilat minta kata yo kala kemding kensan ha kaporan riu statement step hamar bakal apoi ha kasurok ba National Highway 37 hajan jong kasnong khatwe mer.
Kumbula yo jing te blong bakani ke jingja kalaja tang namar ke jing thut hakaliang ki line aiding. Dan bok pat bahakani ke jingja omshim ladan ke jingja ka basosi eu nongnya jakani ketrok namar ke jing yo lat ban mi no kloi na po kani ka kali. Layo jing te bru bakani ketrok ka bakit ye ka do bilat na ki than jagi road kalatmu ban lit pen hap shachang sari Assam. Mari yo jing te ki pulit ke Jorbat police outpost ringkar ki pulit pilip ding klalin mar sakate ke jaka ban pilip ye ka ding ka blak klang bha bar ka bala bam do ye kani ketrok bat ye baro ki do bilat.
Kinohikai school ad hoc apok kalama jong ka fastom hadin baki jige ki baki la penlong kat tu kan tayo menta menak si thodian jong ka tayo kila sheme ka rai ban pinjin surna shwa shipor ya ki jige ki jong ki hadin baki la yo ya kat tu kan tli ki jing kula na kalian jong sarkar ha ga bai de bagani na kalian jong ka fastom kala pentip ha kilat pathai khubor ba kala ai porshi tayo ka sarkar bakan pen urlong ya ki jing kula ki jong ka
halor ka jing bodin jongi na ki CEC ya ka jing trekam jong sarkar halor kimat jing dawa jungi ngilap katuk ne ki jing ki answer ki balong positif na ki office mdei na ki minister mdei na ki office but halor kene ka sarkar kala penpau haki lat pathai kubor ba ka sarkar ka kerpat ingi ban ya trelang bat ka kerpat ingi ba ngin pen jajai no ki jungi but halor kata kapang ngi menen na kasi isi ngila arai ba ngi penjun surno omdei bang yuweng yagi jinga ki indrengin penjun surno menta shitayo tek ngin penjun sur but ngi kerpat ikino hikai ro ba kin lek phai na osaki school ki nong hikai ba le ki correction evaluation duty jong ki ro ba kin lek phai na osaki center jong ambos hati center ba fair but kiwe ro ki duty lane ki ba ka sarkar ka ai ye kinong hikai kum ki exam duties bar kiwe but yakine ro ni naka seng ila rai nak sisi ila rai ba ngin ya sim menta shitayo but ka seng ro naka rai jok sisi ngila aipor ye sarkar menta shitayo thek bakan pendap ya ki jing ye kimat jing dawa jungi but ngiru na ka seng ni don ban pensngo sak sarkar bangi kloy ban trilang ni kloy ban wan sakami jong jing ekren but ni kloy ba ngin pelai por jadi bangin yakren suthu jingbut but ni kloy ru ba bangin ya trilang bar sarkar hakino kino ki benta lada sarkar ka ayangi ya kimat jing dawa jungi ha ka jing tho
ha ka jo por la pentip ru ba president jong ne ka sing ula shong thaj bat ka EC kala jet no yo vice president ka tau ba di marwen kum u president u bathamai jong ka
menen ka sngi ngila yo pediang ya ka city resign jong u president u ba kenet shadap ha ka ba ula ai shak office ya ka city resign jong u ha ka ba ula ongru ba un ailat ye kiwe pat ki member ban shim miti ya kasugi jong president te kasisi ka bala shong kerki menen ngila shim ban ngila pedeng ye city resignation jong u president jongi ba kenet sadap but namar bangidon hapedeng genjing ye ki but ba ngimdon sibun kapor bangin ya elect ki members thamai lene bangin pen thamai kino kitkam te nakata kadau ngila penkiu no ya vice president bon simti no ya kasuki jong president but ita i babu dining roy but nado menta kasngi kasi isi kala penkiu no ya vice president ba long ben simti no ya kasuki jong president but ya ka shuki jong vice president idang bat hi da uibai ru president namar pengidon amut ki vice president but ya kata shuki rabat i Sir Kinstar Momin ibade i dekhot jong kamupsta Nagoro Hills.
Hadian gitu khubor nya sange biang satang shipor march ke til ko hadian yin swan phabiang shpirang ya saban ngina bata kini ki bepat ki khubor daga jinya rally ki thuk thuk rakhe ya ka North East Fest Hari Bhoi district haga sport raga shillong labet ya ka nam ladu haga Bircham Cup basketball championship but kibai di ki khubor Lawan phabiang shingi RiKhasi channel nginya beteng mentai ki khubor ki badasa u MLA ka South Shillong ba san bor shulai menha ka arpo hundri tri u banai belala ulapli pat ba ya ka surau ba rukum ju ya ka surau ya breune ka footpath ka badan ha ka dong lom shat sngi ken streets
ya ga jaka ban pen he ka surau lais ngo bha dak Sankardev committee hagani ka si lai don lang urang ba shnong u ba kersoi bok nong bri ki de khot ka dor ba shnong u AEE ka PWD u ba lingdo u principal ka Sankardev college u additional SP traffic u ba yan swear berkumjuru ki pat banong shong shnong jong ka dong lom shat sngi ken streets
agan ka step bania pli ne surat ngai kublai kerpang ni borok ki top official jong police department baga traffic branch kumjuru ya irang ba asdong ba kersoi bok nongbri iba Venus pamthiet bat borok ki rang ba dong bat ki dekhot jong ka dor persnong lom shat sngi ken streets kumjuru ya ki dekhot jong ka MCIC Karkendai South Shillong Constituency, but ia pibaro kiparanong song sinang, but kam tamru ia iba pukon but iba bora, kibalong President dan Secretary jangka Srimanta Sankardev Cultural Center, kibala ai kluit mensim doniet yang nega jaka krem dah siudor bat dei lengba jong gajing wan jing ai sobha jong dia jaka bakalala ban penyo ia kadi ka sanction kapisa lengba kaplu di department ke balai system nadu ia official ke bahaya tu ke sarkar engineer bat ki badai bagi engineer ke badai ban thau ban wo ban snai ke plan ka estimate ban penyo ia kena ka estimate kaba kot syaka sikror saulai la arbulai adar ya kabakalong kumbakalong menta akan ka step
Nagabentaban pin priang ya ka khubor ka baide ba ka hok jong ki khlong ki khna bat ki kinthai ne ka beti bachao beti padhao mana ka art khandai treatment tau banai ka office jong deputy commissioner jong ka ribhoi district kalapan long ya ka jiya rally ra ki thuk thuk
kane ka long ru kum shibenta ban shimbenta ka North East Festival 2022 ka badairu ra ka benta ka jingrakhe ka jingdam nyu pusan snam ka jinglai loit ka ri India bar ka jingdap san host nam ka jila Meghalaya Hagani ka jingai rally jo ki thuk thuk ek belas dang na phalau ko office DC Shajarabat balapan ko dah umbroi lawan ban shibenta de ke khot ka Royal Enfield Riders Association of Meghalaya hapo ka jelam jo ba Didi Umdor como president lawan ban play ka ni ka jingai rally do arpit upadhyaya deputy commissioner ka Ribhoi district haga jingdan lang ADC ba MB Tongper nalor ki be ki nang jo ka ni ka kinhon
and a big gratitude for all the bike participants who have graciously come here to celebrate with all of us this bike rally and your support for this thing. It's very like I got to know that you are so much willing to be a part of this thing. It was a big thing for us and thank you so much for being a part of all of this and I would like to say that so far we have been doing a lot of initiatives but when it reaches to people it's only through the initiatives of through rallies these people when all people come together and we are able to collaborate with the people with the ground people. So thank you so much and my best wishes for to everyone on this initiative of the 75 years of India's independence as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Parliamentasa siya ka Khubor Sport ka kanhon ya le ka jong ka Shillong labet kinthebet chenrang kila yo ban ras ndoni ka nam la do ha ka lumpung ya le ka basketball ka balatip kum ka second Bircham Cup Open to All Basketball Championship 2022 balapan long da ka seng samla nongpo proper pulun Ribhoi district
Kani kelumpung ile akai basketball kadi ka wei ne ki mati bukong san jika kinhun ki seng samla nong po pulun badha kani ka kinti jong kawat ka baar la sakhi ka jingla ban pulong kani ka lumpung ka bajab da ka jingwan poi ban ye shibenta da palat phautali ki kinhun ile akai na kaleng ki district jong ka jila Meghalaya ha ka je khune ka final hapren ki shinrang ban ye kani ek nam la do ka bala long ha ka atlai tere gwiya yong ka kinhun ile akai basketball jika shillong la bet kala la ban pelim no ka kinhun Onyx Major dan repu ar la sarpunyo basket kat bahakaliang ki kinthai par ka Shillong la bet kala lawan pelem ya ka Telilang Basketball Academy da Sanpu Sau la Saupo basket hagane ka si bla panha perdai ka lumpung ile akai lawan ban sakhi lang do ba Jason Sau kme maulong MLA ko umsning ko mukongsan ha ka jedan lang ru ba wan prangs em pa em ka nongpo ilaka sadarship kumu kongsan benrap uba Rainal Kharkamni Vice Chairman ka Meghalaya State Planning Board uba Michael Kharhunai General Secretary ka Dorbar Shnong Nongpo barkiwe kiwe lasami ka khusnam pisa ba trophy shi kinhun nongjob haga ba ka kinhun ile kai jong kishinrang ka Shillong labet kala khuri ka song pisa ka basan puwa jatingka barka trophy kat ba ka Onyx Major kala yo ban khungi ka song pisa ka ba arpuwa jatingka Barha kalian kikin thei ke Shillong labet kla yok khungi ke song pisa ke ba arpasan hajar tingkar ringkat ke trophy bar ke Telilang Basketball Academy kala yok ke song pisa ke ba shipo hajar tingkar ringkat ke trophy.
Pisaki pipet mana yang rajin lekai, kabalong disiplin rajin lekai, kabalong kadang kata sportsmanship. Mua kadai ke contact sports, kadai ke physical sport, kadai ke TV tidak kata keburang iwi. Kata kan nuksa pi kihat diberit pilih bani kaiswa. Tidak bersih kata. Kabar kalong ma. Dan perjalanan tui, tiba tu tiba wah bersih ke sports pun berkarya. Tiba kan terbit kalau mereka basketball, kalau mereka kena profesional tiba. Tapi kita di banyak kali mana, beri kita syakmat kami, nama kita diberi, kita terisi tau, kita benar, macam orang kita belum disiplin. Juga kita ni kita juga berten keleng. Disiplin harapam tadi, disiplin harap tiada, bahkan disiplin harap practice. Follow ini lain sausan teliti orang batai macam ni, penyo berkaitu soal kerja.
Haswa bangin penkut ngin penso biang shapi yaki panggi bakong sansa shisin. Menjur ka HPC ban kendria na them yo molong ringkat bat katto ka niki kendon. Ka sarkar kamdei ban sngap yaki kendon ke HPC ong ka KSU. Ajin Krishan ka boundary committee yaki hima bat ki trai jaka ha khapot. Persyang ka sarkar ban weng ya ka japo na jowai kentu bar rembui yaki nong shong shnong ban kit klelem. Rai ka kenhun ki nohi kai ban pinjin sur shipor yaki jingki. Daga jinya rally ki thuk rakhe ya ka North East Fest Hari Bhoi District. Haga sport raga Shillong labet ya ka nam ladu haga Bircham Cup Basketball Championship. But kibai di ki Khubor. Bada kitungin penkut noi gini ka Khubor kani ka tiyo mentang in sia syam biang bat pibaro haga taigwei pak ka tiyo ko banwan kublei pibaro bat hiaso.